Hiya folks, it's Kikoskia here and welcome back to Let's Play Pillars of Eternity, and when last we left off we are now an honorary member of the Crucible Knights. We returned back to the Crucible Knights stronghold, only to find that the Forge Knights had gone berserk. We fought our way to the commander, saving quite a few Crucible Knights along the way. And for our valour, we got the reward of the honorary position, as well as a really fine sword and suit of armour. We then persuaded the commander that maybe they shouldn't use the Forge Knights, on account of how temperamental they are. And we seem to have gotten through to him. We then popped over to Ducal Palace to talk about Caed Nua. The rightful owner of Caed Nua had appeared and demanded that we relinquish it. The official ruling agreed with him on the condition that he pay us compensation for reclaiming and working on the fortress. The owner refused, angrily declaring that they would have what was theirs regardless. And so, by refusing that deal, the fortress is now ours. We've been given an exceptionally awesome rod that we can use to attack at range with magic, and it has a sort of soul-bindy ability thingy, but we're probably not going to be doing that anytime soon. What we are going to be doing is heading over to Ondra's gift, because we have a quest that we have to do there with the salty Mast. So let us pop over and say hello, and hope that we can sort things out quickly. I'm still surprised we haven't been waylaid. I'm really surprised. Also, it's interesting that there is a ruin. Oh, I can actually look at this ruined tower. I was about to say, which is interesting. Let's have a look at it. The stones of this ancient tower have been blackened by centuries-old fires. Surrounded by a patch of wildflowers, it looks like a memorial. Ah, I know what that is. That's something to do with the fearsome rumours persist of strange and hooded figures emerging from the city catacombs. The city guard advises caution. Oh yeah, we do need to finish exploring the catacombs, don't we? We do need to finish exploring those. We'll do that after the quest in Ondra's gift. There's a bunch of justiciars. And now we go over here to Ondra's gift. We're not going to Heritage Hill yet, which I believe I've mispronounced as Heritage Hall at least once. There might be a hall there, but that doesn't mean it's called Heritage Hall. Either way, we want to head over to the Salty Mast is right there. So, down we go. The hearings of Anamancy proceed at Ducal Palace. Little progress is reported. We trust our good Duke will come to measured, wise conclusion. Let's hope. Okay, we're going to go this way. By the docks. And go. There's blood here. Grab his purse and go! Are you alright?
I'm here.
This man's fancy clothes are ripped. The blood flows from a fresh cut above his eye. He tries to push himself up, but his arm is shaking. He winces painfully. We'll help him up, of course. Thank you, he gasps as he rises. My head. What happened? He carefully dabs at his bloody nose with a silk handkerchief. I was just on my way to the club. He slowly stretches out one leg, grimacing at his scraped knee. It's a rough part of town, but the rabble's never been violent. Even a night with Ikali isn't worth this. He limps away.
I'm here.
Let's see if anybody in here knows what's going on about that. Hope they do. What do we have?
Nothing like this in Gilded Vale. Just Wallaruna of the milkmaid. She knew what she was doing.
Overfried cod, watered ale, and prostitution. A bastion of Deerwood culture.
I hope you aren't expecting to find the leaden key in here.
This place, it stills your mind and distracts you.
Now to find a home for my other staff.
Well, we know what goes on here. And there are a lot of guards.
I'm here.
A new face? Welcome to the Salty Mast. Let's have a chat.
Greetings.
The Omar woman watches you suspiciously. On one hand is tensed at her side, but as you approach, she relaxes and gives you a friendly, if weary, smile. I don't see many outfitted like you who aren't looking for trouble. You aren't looking for trouble, are you? What kind of trouble are you having? A frown ripples across her blue facial markings, the kind that's bad for business. Local rowdies have taken to harassing my hard-working boys and girls, and our customers. They started showing up after this rash of Hollowborn, and they've been driving my regulars away. She looks you up and down, scratching her chin. There aren't too many who care about what happens in places like the Gift, but word is you're an exception. The knights are too busy sniffing around Duke Avar to bother with us commoners, and I just assume not deal with our bureaucracy anyway. Tell me how I can help. Maya draws you closer. These thugs tend to roam in groups, which suggests to me that these aren't random incidents. She places one large finger on your chest. You put a stop to these attacks, and I'll find a real nice way to thank you. She winks. Got me? Aloth wipes his hands on his robes, looking around. I would request that thanks in copper if I were you. I've got questions. Shoot. What do you know about these attacks, Maya? She waves a hand at the door. You only have to step outside to see it for yourself. Those thugs out there are just waiting to cause trouble for anyone coming or going. She sizes you up. Maybe they would have let you pass, however. Tell me more about your business. She rubs the back of her neck. It's not doing as well as I'd like with all this trouble. I run an honest enterprise, just trying to give folks a little rest and relaxation. She nods at you and lowers her voice. You'll help me out and I'll see about getting you a special discount. Can I ask you about something else? A knowing grin wraps her blue markings. Now, just what can I do for a comely lass like yourself? Tell me about this place in general. A thought that was clear as crystal waters below the docks. This here is the Salty Mast, the most famous house of pleasure in Defiance Bay. We've got drinks, beds, and good company to help you enjoy both. So many minds here, filled with lust, gaiety, but also with worry, heartache, terror. She looks around at the talking, laughing, drinking crowds. These rooms have been filled by despair at the Hollowborn as much as by anything else. Her gaze returns to Maya. A shame that one would so readily profit from it. Of course, for a fine and prestigious gentleman is upstairs. You'll find several of the hardest working boys and girls in Defiance Bay up there too. I'll go look into that thing for you. This is who we need to talk to do the quest for that heirloom, for that item, for the Glanfathom. But we're not going to do that just yet.
I'm here.
We're going to pop out and see if we can get some leads. Maybe a lead will come to us. Maybe. Not that I can see just yet. So we need to find these thugs. Are they here? Nope. No thugs. What have we here? Another tourist in the Gift? He nods to his shifty-eyed companions. Let's give her a proper welcome. I prefer to talk this through. He draws a sharpened blade and smiles. I'm afraid you're missing the point, friend. And I'm afraid you're about to get a lot of points stabbed into you. So, harassing thug, harassing thug, harassing thug, harassing thug, and harassing thug. Right. Charge.
Hey,
Charge.
I'm here.
I'd like you to meet my friend Gun.
Yes?
Stay here. Stay here.
Yes?
You shoot.
Your thoughts
And
must
I
flow
think
deeply
you
indeed.
shall... let's see. That there.
Brave.
There we go. Okay, you're in trouble.
What?
Now we don't need to do anything
How may I
there.
help?
You can do this because it will get all of you. And then this here. Like that. Yeah, I don't think you stand much of a chance here. You really don't.
Your thoughts must flow deeply.
This was your fight! And these two are just looking at the sea, ignoring everything. Do you hear that? Shh. Play dumb.
Yes?
And thus, they played dumb. Yeah, this is not going well for you. Not going well at all. Because now there's only one of you.
I'm here.
I don't even need the distraction
Your
worms.
tail end!
You turned into Gibbs so quickly that I didn't even see any Gibbs. But, got a ton of loot here, and a key. This old key looks like it's been rusted from years of exposure to salty air. Salty air. Well, if I were a guessing
I'm here.
person, I'd say that that would be by the sea. And it's not going to be the Valian Trading Company. So maybe it is that ramshackle house. The ropes dangling from the crane sway in the ocean breeze. Oh, I can just loot this.
God's damn that son of a cool.
The angry woman clenches her jaw and stares out toward the harbour with glimmering golden eyes. Eventually sensing your presence, she turns her feathered head towards you.
Want to run it down on its luck, Valiant Trading Company? If you have more than half a brain, you could really do something with it.
She clenches her jaw and continues quietly.
As long as you're willing to clean up a few bloodstains.
What's going on exactly?
Exactly. If I knew that, I'd be in a better mood. The only thing I know exactly is that Mestre Versano is determined to wind up in a grave before the season turns.
I get the feeling violence is going to happen very soon. The woman looks back at the warehouse for a moment and grimaces. After a slight nod in your direction, she storms off. Well, I think we have a companion quest to start by going into that warehouse. Valian Trading Company. I couldn't get in. They said I wasn't refined or prestigious enough for their club. Elitist goits. Right, ramshackle hut. A lock with a rusty bronze key. Yep, this is where we need to go. So, we will unlock it. Bet we could have picked that lock too. And in we enter. Perhaps you can avoid bloodshed. I'd like to. However, what do we have here? A lot of people. Let's move a
Hey.
deer forward.
Greetings.
Aoife wears a defiant expression and a sturdy yet battered suit of armour. She seems to bear each scratch and ding with pride. You don't look like one of the knights. Can I help you with something? I'm here about the trouble at the salty Mast. Ordinary kith are angry, as they should be with that crooked O'Mauer toadying up to the nobles. She sneers. She's using the tragedy of Wayburn's legacy to line her pockets. She's no better than the Adheran overlords we drove out 200 years ago. People around here know you to be an honest broker. The mayor's made it so only the rich can afford her establishment, yet she sits in the poorest district of Defiance Bay. How's that fair? We've taken matters into our own hands, but she's the real criminal here. Why don't you tell her to back down? Now, there's an option here for 15 intellect. I don't have the requirements. There's an option here for 60 resolve. I don't have that. We could just attack you. But maybe we can negotiate. I'd much rather negotiate. That's a good point. I'll see if I can get Maya to lower her prices. Ethan nods. I'm glad you see our side. I don't necessarily see your side.
I'm here.
I just want to see a result that everyone benefits and no more bloodshed occurs. Let's see if I can do so. She can always say
I'd
no,
be glad to.
and then we're back to square one. Can always say no. We'll save before we go in. And this is just a bit of a docks. Is there a box here we can look at? There is in fact a box. Surrounded by scattered planks, it isn't clear whether this skiff has been half-built and abandoned or cannibalized for lumber. Ooh, spirits. Concocted by the most daring of brewers, spirits come in many forms and flavors, but they all share the virtue of hurling everyday problems into a sea of liquid fire.
I'm here.
Indeed. Right, we will cross this bridge. It's quite a nice bridge. Very well made bridge. And then back to Basalty Mast, where we will have a conversation. You know, if these people that have been attacking patrons of Basalty Mast had just come with words instead of swords, maybe we wouldn't be in this mess. And what a mess it is. What a mess it is. I'm going to save here. And we'll head in. And have a chat. Hello, I'm back.
I'm here.
Hail, traveler.
It's always good to have a few more warm bodies in here. Any progress with those thugs? I wanted to talk to you about that. I hear you've been raising prices. What else am I supposed to do? I have to provide certain measures for my employees and their clients, especially with so many hollowborn in my district. And with the price of bitter squash as high as it is, I've got no choice but to raise mine. She taps your chest with a finger. And don't get me started on cutthroat business. Not with the Domenors carrying on the way they do. I could talk with the Domenors about their bitter squash prices if you like. Yeah, we're not smart enough or of high enough resolve to do any of these, so we'll try this. She raises her arms. It's your neck. Bracanta Domenor would be the easiest to persuade. She handles the family books. With any luck, you can find her at their manor over in Brackenbury. Just watch your step around her. Watch your step around all of them. I will. Goodbye. So,
I'm here.
the plot thickens. We need to reduce the price of squash. Oh, what are the Domenors going to ask for that?
I'm here.
That is a question. Is it something I'm going to want to do? Is it something we're going to want to do? I am unsure, but at least I know where to find them. That is in Brackenbury. So let's go. Local lad is reporting missing. Those with information or location of the boy Darren should seek order in Ondra's gift. Order is... Order there, right. We'll go over there and do that quest in a little bit. For now, Brackenbury. I am very worried about what we're going to be asked to do here. Very worried indeed. But, when we come back, folks, just hear me out. With this procedure, her soul would be returned intact. More or less. More or less? Is that how you plan on presenting your idea to Ethelmore? Why? Not good? Not good. No. Not good at all. But when we come back, folks, we're going to go and talk to House Domenor. Considering the fact that we have already made ourselves a bit of an enemy with them, I'm curious as to how this is going to go. Maybe they won't want to talk to me at all. Maybe they won't. But if they don't, then we have other ways to solve the problem. Other, more violent ways, but we do have ways. Maybe we can come to some sort of understanding? And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're not. And if you are subscribed, press that bell for those notifications. And I'll catch you next time, folks. And I'll see you then. Later.